Hello everyone, this is Amy with Campbell Creations, and today we are going to make a 3-strand neck bracelet, and this bracelet is to match the Sunken Treasure wire wrapped pendant, Amazonite pendant necklace that we had just made from Bargain Bead Box June 2024. So triple strand bracelets are my favorite. I think today's the first day I'm recording a video where I'm not wearing a triple strand bracelet. Instead, I am wearing one of my simple toggle bracelets that I made in a previous tutorial. But triple strand bracelets are my favorite. And I'm going with a real simple design. So I'm going to have 2 basic strands here, and these are just going to be the little disc beads, the cream disc beads, and the little coconut heishi beads. And then for the center strand, I'm going to use some of the maifanite and 2 of the little turtles that came in the box. I love these little guys so much. So I've already made one of my strands, and what we'll do is we'll first start out with just repeating this strand. Now, I'm using today Flexrite 21 strand clear. I really like the flexibility of this kind. There's several that I use, but currently I have a bit of addiction with that one. I'm going to pull in my wire guardian, and we're going to need a crimp tube. So let's pull in a copper. Put these out here. Haven't done that yet. Thank you all for your support to the channel. I truly appreciate all of your comments, all of your support to it, and hopefully I will continue posting these videos and you guys will like it. So I'm going to get this started by first crimping the side. I'm going to get a crimp tube on here. I'm going to get my wire guardian on. So up that one side, go down the other. Pull our wire back. Let's get that crimp tube positioned. This will be a really easy bracelet, but I think it'll have a lot of statement to it. And I love the turtles with that maifanite that we received. All right, we have that up in there. Let's get our wires side by side. Excellent. I'm going to bring in magical crimper. My favorite way to crimp. I'm going to settle it into that channel. I'm going to pull my wire down to make sure that it is settled in that little cavity there. Give it a nice squeeze. Turn it 90 degrees. We'll give it another nice squeeze. And we'll just give gentle squeezes all the way around until we don't have resistance. And then we know we have a pretty little bead up here at the top as our crimp. That pretty little crimp just looks like a little bead. All right, very simple here. We are going to start out with, I have some of these little spacers, and if you see on these spacers, they have that texture to them, just to give it a little something. I especially wanted these on either side of the little turtles, but they work really great also as a starting bead. So after I make this bracelet, I will have 2 of the turtles left. I do want to make a pair of earrings, but then again, my problem comes into play where I just want to keep the other 2 little turtles. So the plan is to use them. Hopefully I do. We started out here with the coconut beads, so we're going to make this here. One coconut, one of the cream disc Beachy beads. And from that point, we're going to be doing 2 of the coconut beads in the center. One of the Beachy's. Let's go ahead and dump out, oops. Let's go ahead and dump out these green ones just so they're not making so much noise. Make sure you tuck that tail in. And once this all gets strung up, you won't have to worry about it. But for some reason, I still always go back and continue to tuck it. So we'll do 2 of the coconuts. So those orange little window beads that came in the Bargain Bead Box this month, those are some of my favorite types of beads. So as soon as I saw the box and I saw the color of my Amazonite pendant and I thought of these other beads that I have in my stash, I immediately was going for this like rustic beachy vibe. And now I know the next process I want to take with this box. And I'm really excited about it. I have been seeing on Bargain Bead Box Creative Corner on Facebook, lots of good stuff already posted. We really are so lucky to have such a great beading community. I'm involved in a couple different communities, and when it comes to jewelry making, handcrafting, we really are all so lucky to have so many options for tutorials and great jewelry makers to learn from and to be inspired by. And the positivity is also just amazing. And if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't have learned how to do my first steps in jewelry making. So thank you to all of you greats that's out there. It's helped me along the way and helped so many others along the way. Cheers to you and cheers to growth in everyone's channels. Let's see where we are lengthwise. Not too bad. It made me think for a moment that I had added an extra or didn't add enough because it was not sequential looking anyways. But no, these coconut Beachy beads or seed beads, however you want to call them, I love how organic they are, and each one's different in size and variation of color. That's the happiness for it. So let's see. I think we're ready. So 1 coconut bead and then our finisher. So we'll add that in. We'll finish it out with one of these little antique bronze spacers. Over here, we'll get us a crimp, tube, wire guardian, let's flip that around the other side. Up. matched pretty well. In there. All right, so we'll go through a couple of these beads here. You don't have to go through the beads. I used to go through the beads feeling like it was more secure, or it gave me more security, not necessarily more security to the bracelet. If you have a good crimp, then it's not going to matter whether it's pulled through beads or not. But before I started using proper crimps, before I learned that lesson, I did it thinking if a bracelet came apart, I would have the extra material to just restring it, or, you know, fix that and not have to fully restring it. But anymore, with these crimps being as great as they are, they wouldn't let go. So if something happened and it broke in some other area, I'm not going to be able to utilize that. So we still went through a few of these beads here, and you see how that wire is not down in the channel, and it needs to be for you to do this crimp. Well, when it comes to closing this, I don't worry about it just yet. First, I get this magical crimper secured where I need it to be, make sure that it's not getting any of my beads, make sure that it's not on my crimp or on my wire guardian, and then I give my final pull. Make sure that I have that flexibility by wrapping up that bracelet, and then I crimp. Turn it 90 degrees. Before we crimp again, we're making sure that we're not on our wire guardian. We're making sure that we're not on a bead. And then we'll just crimp again. Then we'll gently go around. Did you hear that little click? That was me catching my wire guardian. We don't want to really do that. I try not to. Well, actually, hey, that looks great. Okay, so let's trim off our excess. And since the last video, I did pull out my new clippers. I love these. I was going through so many of these cutters. So many of these cutters. So my husband found these in a 5-pack online. I'll link it below. Really good price for 5 of them, and these are really good cutters. But it's always nice to know that you have something on backup if you need it. Let's give it a little closer. Don't want to cut that out. All right, so now we have our 2 side strands. Those look really good. We'll do our main strand here, and we'll start again with our crimp. Put our wire guard on. I've been looking through my phone and also a little bit around it on the light, and I found my biggest struggle is with the wire guardians, being able to look around that and actually see it. I do wear glasses, but of course, difficulty factor comes in with how you're looking at it. How exciting though. I am thoroughly enjoying this. I'm still pretty nervous just because this is something new, and the worst time to mess up is when you're on a video, but you can always change it, you can always redo it. Yes, I have redone them. All right, so we're going to pull this down, make sure it's in that channel. squeeze on the crimp. 90 degrees. And we're just going to easily go around until we don't have resistance and it looks like a little bead. Couldn't believe how quick that last one was. It looked like a bead like immediately. And pretty good. All right, so the way I was going to go with this is it's primarily going to be a lot of that maifanite in here with a little bit of the sequence to pull that in. And I also want to use, let's go ahead and get these out. How about that? Let's get these out. Separate them because I love these bead caps as well. I'm telling you, almost everything, let's see here, Bargain Bead Box for the maifanite, for the turtles, my toggle, and I'm only using one side of the toggle here. This larger clip I got from Claim It Live bead sale on Thunder Horse Descendants. Love that. I have 2 large jump rings that I'll connect my 3 pieces to, my 3 strands to, and that jump ring will then be to my toggle, my clamp, and my lobster claw. I have my little spacers, love my bead caps from Bead Box Bargains, and I think we're caught up on everything I'm using. All right, so let's start out here with, we'll go with one of our little end spacers, that way we're matching across the board there. Right. And then how many did I get out here? I think I only wanted to use maybe 5. So let's start out actually with a smaller coconut bead to get it down there. And then we'll go ahead and put in night rounds. And then we will start with a little bit of pattern. So I think I'm only going to do 1 in the center instead of 2 like I have on the sides, just because we have a lot of that going on the sides, and I really want the maifanite to be, or maifanite to be the focal, them and our very cute little turtles. There we go. And then on either side of the turtle, I do want a spacer, so I'm going to go ahead and put a turtle on here. And I wanted the turtles facing each other. I wanted 2 on here. I wanted them to face each other. I thought that would be super cute. And you see how these little spacers just settle right in. So one settles in right here between his back feet and the other one right up here. Let's not keep reaching across. There we go. All right, so between these guys, let me go ahead and put a gemstone bead. Oh, did I lose one of my spacers? I thought I got out enough. Let's look. Maybe not, so hold on just a quick moment. We'll grab another one out. All right, so let's see here. Looks like I'm running low on those, but I still have some. So we'll get one of those out. All right, so we'll put in this other turtle. This other little guy will be looking at his friend. Another one of these little spacers. Super cute. How are we looking on our length so far? I think I'm going to be pretty good. Let's see. another gemstone. And we'll pull this. This beachy vibe. So I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Kansas City area. The only water we have around here involves mud, not sand. So in about a month, we are going to Clearwater, Florida, and we are thrilled. Super, super excited. I need yet another one of those. I was not on my counting game this morning, was I? Good find, Amy. Way to not close it up. All right. Either way, it's a simple design too. Wouldn't have been a big deal. We can redo things. The question is, would I have just redone the video or just redone that part? Hard telling. It's good in these little mistake things to know about them, but also if it's wasting time on the video, no thanks. Kind of like my difficulty with wire guardians. Recently, since I started recording videos, it's really hard for me to see those little guys. All right, so let's take a peek here. Let's look down at this end. Okay. Looking good. Let's look at our length. Pretty close, considering it's going to be in the center, going straight across. Yeah, that's really cute. Okay, so let's wrap this up here. Let's get this placed, then we'll make sure everything's all fixed up and where it needs to be. Great. Give it your final pull and squeeze. 90 degrees. Check your bead. Check your wire guardian. Squeeze. We'll just go around a little. Looking good. Get that tail out of there. Check our tail and see if it needs to be tucked. Oh, that looks good. This one on this side's looking just a tad bit kinked, but we'll be all right. Okay, we're going to tie these into two bigger rings. These two bigger rings will tie into our ends. So let's do a little cleanup here. Get those out of the way. And I also have a couple of my oval jump rings. I love oval jump rings. So let's bring these in. And especially if I'm using toggles or these need to connect to something else, I like to make sure that I'm using the wire guardian with them instead of using that clamshell connector because they won't have nearly as much movement. I'm going to put these on in the order that I want them to lay. Looks good. I'm going to go ahead and put my connector on. And see how I'm going just back and forth until I can know that they're getting close. And with these really thick gauge jump rings, yeah, it's not going nowhere. Sound like my husband when something's tied down to the truck. That's not going nowhere. Right. You know, with jump rings, we're always bringing it this way. We're never going out. That would distort your jump ring. And that's no fun. Now let's make sure when we're doing the other side that we're staying in order, right? So go here. Do the second one. And then over through the third. Excellent. Clasp on there. Don't think I needed those couple jump rings, but if I wouldn't have pulled them out, I would have needed them. Make sure that's as close as I can get him. Nope. Swap out to our heavy duty ones. So I love my Xeron pliers, but they're thinner on the tips. They're a little easier to bend. There. This is beautiful. You see how this is just one-sided, so I'm going to check and make sure that it clasps good. This is nice. I like this a lot. I'll get this up on a little form and we'll get some pictures of it. But this is our big toggle Beachy turtle bracelet from the Sunken Treasure collection, Bargain Bead Box, June 2024. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for watching this video, for hanging in here with me. If you could like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, if you have any feedback, please feel free to comment. I appreciate any and all feedback, and I appreciate you. Thank you for being here and supporting my channel. I hope you have a great day.